Hello builders, welcome to Pocket Founder's second developer update. Today we're going to be talking about different features that have been introduced into the app with the 1.0.31 update, as well as talking a little bit about some of the things that were going on behind the scenes, some infrastructural things. A little bit more boring, so I'm going to front load all of the user and customer centric stuff to the start of the video, and to the end we can get more into some of the engineering nitty gritty, more of a vlog style as I talk through some of the stuff, some of the challenges that I went through this week. If you'd like to stay on and watch that, totally cool. If you just want to hang on to see what new changes have come to the app, I front loaded it to the start of the video. So let's get into it. Thanks. All right, so we're jumping into the app to talk about some new features. You can probably already see that we've gotten a bit of a facelift. I'm noticing because there's always a lag between what's in production versus what is currently in development. So when I look at this, there's a lot of things that are really old that are still there that I've either removed, or there are things that I've added that aren't there. So I kind of needed a little bit of a moment there to kind of catch up with things. But anyways, to talk about some of the features, so obviously right off the bat, when you look at it, everything's been kind of segmented into different menu screens right off the bat. So that's not to say that when you log in, it's going to go to these menus right away. So in fact, just going back to the goals, milestones, and task screens, GMT, which I've relabeled in newer versions goals, because I think that's probably the central thing, and GMT was not clear to people what that necessarily was. I'll get that to catch on one day. But in the meanwhile, just labeling it as goals, because it's kind of just goals, goal planning. Simplifying it, making it easier on people. That's what that's what I'm working towards. So, if you have a screen here, right, and I'm not going to close the app, but just pretend like we're going from here to here, you can see that it's saved. So whatever you leave off on, it's going to go there. You can obviously go back to the planning screen with the press on the top left, or you can hit one of the menu options on the bottom. It'll take you back to the menu. So, you can look at here. There's another menu screen with some options of some things that are going to be coming down the pipeline. None of these are finished, and I actually found a couple of crashes and some user testing with some of this. So logging to be fixed and to be built out more into the future. But the main basics is now goals, milestones, and tasks. Has been put as one amongst a bunch of things that are in planning. The to-do list, and I'm changing it from calling it the swipe tab to being a task stack. Doesn't really roll off the tongue, so I'm still going to be workshopping that. But it's this thing. So I actually call it card stack here. I think I changed it in the other version, but card stack, task stack. I don't know. I just feel like this is a stack of stuff that you're going to be working through. But I'm probably going to be trying to come up with a different name. The connecting screen, so that little QR code there, you can set it up with your social media handles, so makes it a little easier for you to be able to link to people. So as you add your various social media handles, so like in the case of like LinkedIn, George Q. Lee, that's mine. Newer versions, I've gotten rid of the autocomplete, so there's none of that business. So this one is default. So if you were to scan the QR code before, by default it actually goes to the Pocket Founder website. But now in this case, if you scanned the QR code there, it should take you to my LinkedIn. And you can access a bigger version there if your phones are having difficulty with it. I tested it out on a iPhone 11s, which is mine. And a iPhone 6s, it's mine. Both are mine. The 11s is the phone, my day-to-day phone, so that's the one that I'm usually testing with, and it usually works with that. A 6s is like my old phone, so I tested it with that, and the 6s has some issues with small QR codes. So wondering if that's a camera resolution issue, but it eventually gets it. You just have to zoom in really close, or make it a little bigger. So there's this option here in case you have run into some issues. But this also lets you have multiple social media codes, so you can just pop one open as needed. There are more stuff coming soon. I won't really go into that in this update because they're not built. And so yeah, that's pretty much the changes for this last week. A lot of it was infrastructural. So just for this little feature update, keeping it short for everyone, the main thing is that these things have been segmented into menu screens between the planning, the working, and the connecting. Something that's coming into the future that I'm working on is that there's going to be a start button in the top right corner on the header, to the right of the header, with the little cog head guy there. To the right of that little planning above the line, there's a little start button, and when you hit the start button, it basically go through kind of a more walkthrough experience of looking at your goals, milestones, and tasks, reviewing the progress between the last time you logged into the app to now, whether or not these things are still relevant, are there any things that need to be added into the future, that type of thing. And hopefully that will coincide with the launch of events, which are, on one hand, internal meetings, and on the other hand, any external events that you would like to host for your company, or are looking to be a part of. And so if you're going to an event and there are particular things that you're looking from it, if you go to an investor networking event, we'll probably have an investor CRM that's connected with the Founder Decks feature that's coming in the future, to kind of track through and make sure that any follow-ups that you're doing, you're able to keep on top of it in a CRM-like format that you would do with customers, just building it out for investors, mentors, other founder friends for different follow-ups that might be needed. So yeah, that concludes what's been done in this past week. I think everything looks a lot cleaner. The navigation is a lot more clearer, and this is kind of a foundational work week to allow for some of the more experimental features to come for users to be testing with, and for me to get feedback on whatever is useful. Ultimately, this platform is for the users, right? And so, as long as it's useful for all of you, I'm happy if you're happy. So that concludes this portion. So we're going to move on to kind of a vlog style. So if you don't want to listen to me babble about some technical rocks that I've hit and some kind of startup-y type discussion about some of the rocks that I faced, some low points, but also some of the high points of running the startup, Pocket Founder. It's been fun, but there's definitely been some low points this last week. So we're going to be talking about that, but if you're not interested in that, thank you so much for watching this developer update, and until next week, thank you. Alright, so let's start with a walkthrough of the typical user journey through the app. So basically, if I do my job right as a developer and as a designer, this is what I think the ideal path through the app would be. So here on the splash screen, as I call it, you're basically greeted with our cute mascot, Poke, for the first time. Poke is short for Pocket, and is a cute Shiba Inu. And he's supposed to serve as a sort of Clippy character for you, your personal assistant, and as the button says, a Pocket co-founder for you, to basically do the jobs of a typical COO would have for you. So that's really the objective of the app for the Poke mascot, is to be able to provide some of the kind of managerial on a day-to-day basis, the operations basis, kind of be able to push that onto our helpful Alright, I think everyone wants to have Poke as their co-founder, so let's adopt him. So here you'll see the start of the orientation for the app. Here we have by the bottom, kind of text bubble. You just tap on the text bubble to advance the text. I'll let you read it on your own. I'll just kind of tap through it. On this screen, you'll see kind of a brief walkthrough of some of the central tenets of the app. Again, Poke makes a wonderful appearance, looking very cute. So going through just with the walkthrough here, you can read the rest on your own, but just the main gist. So you have the planner portion of the app. You have the founder decks, which is coming soon, which is kind of more of some social features that'll help you connect with other founders, mentors, and investors. Coming soon down the road. And Poke Founder University, which is very under construction, but will be kind of a Duolingo style portion of the app. Learn as you go, on demand, whenever you need it, backed by the context of what you've put in through the app in the planner section, and any logging that you do on the work portion of the app. So when we get started, the app asks to know basically where you are in your startup journey. So, let's just choose for the sake of the walkthrough here that I'm doing with the app. We're just in ideation. So continuing. So going on to the orientation for the planner portion of the app. Just noticing right now, and I think I've had discussions with other people, but in the future when I have more time, I'll probably have different versions of the Poke graphic, so different greetings, so that people don't confuse the overall orientation with any of the orientations for any of the subsequent portions of the app. But, for right now, this is kind of a placeholder graphic, but this is a separate orientation screen, though the orientations look pretty similar, just to make it easier on me to design them all. They all look the same. It's also to hopefully make it look consistent, allow people to know that this is an orientation. But basically, for the app to really function correctly, and something that I think will bring you some really great benefit as a founder is the planner in the app. So let's just go through it. I'll tap through the text, kind of read it on your own time, or since you're watching it on YouTube, you could strategically pause, but I'll let you experience it through the app itself. So with the planner, the main process of the app, as I've stated in previous developer updates, basically a kind of not necessarily watered down, but kind of a lighter weight version of the KPI tracking that might be happening, KPI and OKR tracking process that you might see at some larger companies. Kind of made it more lightweight, more agile for a startup to be able to use more effectively. So we look at goals, milestones, and tasks. So just going back, goals. So like, why are we working? Like, what has the customer or the team stated that needs to be done? That kind of orients why we need to be working. We have the milestones, which kind of tracks how we're going to be doing what we're doing. And the tasks, which are literally what are we doing, right? So tasks to hit the milestones, which accomplish the goals. So we look at the GMT process there. So to get started, kind of asking how would you create the goal. So for right now, as of version 1.0.31, the goal can only be directly edited for now. So you're just typing it in. I need to actually add, just mindlessly tapped there and noticed something that I need to go back and fix. So a little prompt, right? We have to create a goal and a little header there to ask, why are we working? So in the case of this, just applying a, placeholder thing. Oh boy, this goal is coming up, but release the app by Labor Day. Oops, 2023. So we'll save that goal and gets put into the goals, milestones, and tasks tab of the planning portion of the app. So you can continue on by creating more goals, creating milestones that you can attach to the goals, or creating tasks. So from here, the top right plus, that's what I hit there. Oops, I hit the back there. Hit the plus here. This is all from scratch. So basically, if you are trying to create a milestone, that's only possible if there's a goal, because you need to attach a milestone to a goal. Task, obviously, needs to have a goal or a milestone. Now, there is technically unattached tasks, so you can create a task and not have a goal or a milestone, but that's kind of hidden away in the process. So technically you can just create like an impromptu task that's not attached to anything. Those come up. I totally understand that those happen. Try to disincentivize it. It's kind of there's some design features in the task editor to kind of dissuade you from creating unattached tasks. But sometimes you need to do it. Totally get it. And so there's that portion of the app. So yeah, that's the planning portion of the app. There's a work portion of the app. Something that slowly over time not as enjoyed. But something that's necessary. So you have the to-do. The to-do is empty since I haven't created any tasks yet. But if you looked at past developer updates, you'll have seen what it looks like along with the task stack. Over here on the right side there, you can see the task stack, which is kind of the card swipe way of doing day-to-day tasks. Just being able to say that you completed them or not, and be able to have it open while you work. From what I've been hearing, that's not really that necessary. So probably going to be just doubling down on the to-do list as being a primary avenue to kind of help people work through their various tasks. So the kind of concept is you do your planning, right, to add goals, milestones, and tasks. You go over to the work tab and in the to-do list to kind of be checking off goals, milestones, and tasks. So great. The other thing that I might note, so you can see here that in the planner we have 3 more portions. So you have a review, you have log, and you have events. Events probably coming in the far future, probably not with the initial app release, so that button's actually going to be gone for a little while. But logging, I think, is important. So when you come up with a metric, so these are your actual KPIs, there might be some metrics that you need to track. I'm a big proponent of making sure that founders take care of their mental health. So a mood tracking and mood logging portion of the app, I think that's important to let you understand when you're coming close to burnout or, anything, struggling with hardships, all those types of things. I think that it's good to kind of be able to take that moment to reflect, and hopefully the app can help you process that. And also, be able to celebrate your wins, be able to document, achievements, any good moments that happened. And sometimes maybe you want to track some of the bad to kind of provide lessons for yourself and any future teammates, employees, etc. Sometimes you'll say, we did this thing, it didn't work. An employee comes along 2 years down the road and says, hey, why don't we do this thing? Well, let's take a look back at when we tried that and it didn't work. Maybe there's a new angle that we can tackle it. Maybe there's a new thing, but, it's kind of help you remember stuff. So that's kind of the moments portion. And then review there, I'm actually extracting review to a separate button. There's going to be above the review button, and that little space there in the top right, there's going to be a start button. And basically, we're going to start a repeat planning process where you're going to review your goals, milestones, and tasks. Maybe your mood tracker if there's a problem that comes up, your log if something, one of your metrics, we need to take a look at it as determined through some of the algorithms in the app. That'll all be in the repeat process there. There's going to be a similar start button under the work tab on the top right to basically go through kind of different work-based processes, whether that's stand up when you start in the morning to a kind of end of day wrap up. So that's going to be under the work tab. Lastly, we're going to be taking a look at the Connect tab and take a look at some of the early stuff that goes there. This is going to be kind of the social portion of the app and something that really is kind of there, been there for a while, been there since the start. I haven't had the heart to take it because I've gotten some good early feedback on some of the Connect tab features. Some of it just boils down to everyone doesn't like LinkedIn, and I know that I'm definitely going to be posting some of these videos onto LinkedIn, and it's the best that we got right now, but hopefully, if enough people are complaining about LinkedIn, that probably means that there's a gap to exploit there. So, just from me, entrepreneurial self, listening to gaps in the market and wanting to exploit different things, it just sounds like LinkedIn's not really helping the startup industry writ large. And so, just some of the features at the start here that some people have been requesting. So an easy way to be able to share their different social features. And so I don't know why that's not appearing. Stand by. So this was totally one of those weird works on my machine moments, but for some reason on my iPhone 6s, these buttons didn't appear. On my 11 Pro, they happened to appear. So I have no clue why that's a problem, or the discrepancy there, but I'll go back and fix that later, or if there even is a fix. Just one of those things in app development. You never know until you take a look at it. So anyways, back to that. Also noticed, since I am recording this on Discord, I do have my mouse, so I can actually point at stuff. I'm like pointing with my actual finger at different things, but I can actually point with my mouse. So anyways, here, as you can see, we can expand it. You can take a look at the QR code here, which goes to my LinkedIn. What you basically put in is just your LinkedIn handle, and Twitter, it's just the @. That's actually not my Twitter thing anymore. Whoops. Oh no, yeah, that one is. I was looking at my LinkedIn. That's what I get with live demos. So yeah, you have those when you set a default QR code. So this is my default here. It's my LinkedIn. That little QR icon there via socials here, that actually takes you to my LinkedIn profile. Doesn't work on older phones, as I tried with my iPhone 6s. You have to hold it very close to the screen, so it's basically like sitting on top of each other. Maybe it's a phone resolution type of thing, but don't know what the specific problem there is. Last off on the Connect tab is the Founder Decks and the Founder Profile. Coming soon in the future, maybe by Christmas. Got a lot of great feedback on like how to connect with mentors better, how to connect with investors in a more effective manner. And I think that, this might be the way to tackle it when you're combining, different things that you're logging in the planning here, and then, being able to allow people to see, what's on your active to-do list, being able to share that in a Connect tab. I think that those are some powerful things to allow people to do. But I appreciate everybody kind of hanging out and watching this walkthrough with me. Never a day that there isn't a problem during a demo, but thankfully it was a small one. That was remedied by just switching devices. So not everyone's going to be lucky to be able to do that. So definitely something I'm going to fix and address going forward.